We tapped on this a little bit before, and I think it's perfect though for group economics because I'm a powernomics guy. You don't have to be a powernomics person, but I'm big on powernomics, which can be described partly as group economics. It's achieving power through the collective. Well, here's one of the economic hacks that I think you might want to consider because all economics is math basically. It's like 2 plus 2 is going to be 4, and 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. So if they tell you to go to level 5 and you've only got level 4, but if you add 2 more, then you'll be at a 6 and you'll be winning as opposed to losing. So ultimately, group economics is extremely important when you're talking about trying to succeed. This is a basic, simple idea that should be shared with your kids. So dual income, no kids. Check this out. So when I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing lots of millennials who get on online and they do these videos where they're just crying and bawling and falling apart because of how bad the economy is, like I told you that I showed you all that one video of the poor girl. It's not funny, but it was funny but not funny. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing. I'm just laughing, but it wasn't because I was happy that she was sad. It was just kind of funny. And she literally said she was crying and she said, I don't want to be an adult anymore. It is too hard. It is too expensive. I don't like being a grown-up. I want to go back to being a kid. It's too hard. And in my generation, we're not laughing at you, I promise. But it's funny to us because when we grow up, you don't go out in public and put all your business on Front Street like that and get on Twitter, TikTok and cry about. See, like to cry on the internet is a little strange, right? But then again, you're talking to a guy. I've actually shed a tear on the, so I can't even look at me. See, I'm such. That's another thing about our generation. We might be just a bunch of hypocrites. I don't know. But anyway, with that said, though, here is what I thought about when I saw this poor young lady because I felt bad for her because I'm a father, right? I'm old school. I'm kind of like, well, where's your daddy at? Why ain't your daddy hooking you up? Oh, that's right. 76% of our kids don't even have their daddy in the house. That's another problem. I think that needs to be addressed. But then again, call me radical for saying that. But here's what I want you to know. Remember, we talked about this that 9 times out of 10, when you see someone talk about how difficult it is to struggle in the economy, usually they're doing everything by themselves. It's usually a single millennial who's single and mingling and dating and whatever, and they've detached the act of dating from the more important act of economic survival, right? We've been trained to think that income and economic possibilities should not matter when you're choosing who to have sex with or who to date or who to marry, right? We kind of are trained to think like so if a woman says, hey, I think I want a man who's financially secure and I want that man to be there for me, you might have people that'll say you're a gold digger or you're not a very good feminist or whatever, or you're a pick me or something like that, right? And so really what's really interesting though is that I would almost argue that when you go back to that word poor, what does poor stand for? What does the word poor stand for? Type in the chat. What does poor stand for? Poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. Passing over opportunities repeatedly. So if I'm poor, if I'm a 25-year-old who's struggling to pay the rent, but I'm young and sexy and good looking, and I got all these people in my DMs trying to get, get in my bedroom, right? Um, I don't know how to say this the right way, but if I'm not even considering my economic struggle as sort of part of the equation, at least in terms of who I even let into my bedroom, I might be keeping myself poor. I might be passing over an opportunity to at least make financial stability part of the equation. I'm not saying money should rule everything. We've talked about that. We've talked about money being too much of a focus to the point where you've let some horrible person in your life because they have money